Luke Richardson has spoke out on the reason Connor Bedard's minutes have been decreased over the past few games. We also have a huge trade potential that the Blackhawks could definitely get involved in, and it would help this franchise out a lot. So we're going to go into all of this in this video, but before we get into it, we notice that 83% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel, so if you're looking for a spot to get all your news surrounding the Chicago Blackhawks, you're in the right spot. Make sure to stay a while, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the breaking news. Like I said, we're going to start this one off here with the Bedard minutes. A lot of people thinking that Connor Bedard's minutes over the past few games, which I'll pull up here and just give you a quick view of it just to see. You can see the games against St. Louis and Anaheim, his minutes have been very decreased compared to what he's normally getting around the 20-minute mark. A lot of people thinking this could be load management, but that is not the way Connor Bedard plays his game. You know, we always see him on the ice after practice for like another hour. He's at almost every voluntary practice. And yeah, Luke Richardson went on to say this. There's a lot here, but I'll just condense it down. People were asking him why Bedard, is playing around 16 minutes on the games, but he says it's basically because when they're winning, which they did in those two games that Bedard played 16 minutes, he wants the veterans and the people who know how to defend a lead and who've been doing it their entire career to be on the ice more than their stars. They're not focused on trying to get as many goals as they can. They're focused on the wins and putting these players out. One example right off the top of my head is Nick Foligno. He can be out there whenever they have a lead, and he will do his best to shut them down. He also says that he's trying to get Bedard into that situation eventually, but right now is not the time yet. And they're just trying to get the ability to win in rather than the skill points. But Noah, I know you're a big fan of this style of hockey. So what do you think about Richardson's comments on the reason Bedard's minutes are going down?
I like it because, you know what you're getting with the veteran guys. They've been there before and they know how to win and how to defend a lead, like Luke Richardson said. But I think it's going to come a point in time that Connor Bedard is going to be the guy out there. Yeah. That's just a given. And yeah, he's no Kawhi Leonard, so it's not load management or anything like that. So
yeah, no, that's what Richardson said. He said he's trying to move into that situation eventually, but right now, where Bedard's only in maybe his 20th game or whatnot, whatever game they're on now, he's still not there yet, but that's what his goal is, to just get Bedard into the opportunity where he can play anytime on the ice, on the penalty kill, the power play, with a lead, while down, and, we know he can do that. We know he can do that.
He'll be the go-to.
Yeah, he'll be the go-to for any situation the Blackhawks. It'll just take time, as everything does in the NHL. You can't expect a guy to go out there and be that guy right away. He could definitely be your primary goal scorer, but he might not be your primary penalty killer. But Bedard, I think the Blackhawks are putting him in this situation where I think he's going to be capable of doing it all. And I'm very excited to see what this turns out to be.
He's that type of player.
No, you're absolutely right. And Bedard, like Luke Richardson, got the mindset. He knows what he's doing, and he's confident this can happen. I like what he's doing right now, not putting the pressure on him yet, letting him sit by and watch what these veterans are doing while in the lead. And it's just a very smart situation. It just shows how good of a coach Luke Richardson is and how good of a coach he's going to continue to be throughout this rebuild.
Another thing, too, before you move on to the next topic, Jason Dickinson has had a really, really good season in that sort of role.
I absolutely agree.
Being the guy to come in and close out the game. I think he's got 8 goals, or he's on track to break his goal record. Why not? You need those guys to step up, and when you have those guys, it just benefits you as a team, right? So if he can continue to progress and become the player, he was a first-round pick, right? So he's a first-round pick for a reason. So you never know what he could turn out to him. He could potentially be a pretty good player for Chicago.
Absolutely. There's speaking of Jason Dickinson, a lot of these veterans on this team, like Jason Dickinson and Nick Foligno, are very underrated. They're getting older now. A lot of people are passing them by in their mind, saying, "Oh yeah, it's Nick Foligno, it's Jason Dickinson, whatever." They're older now. They're gonna get dominated by the kids. But these guys are smart. Yeah. This is a whole different game of hockey from guys this age to the new group of NHL players coming in. So having the amount of these guys on this team, especially the ones the Blackhawks have, they did good scouting on who they want in a veteran presence, just like Anthony Beauvillier. Him as well. They've been working well with this young group team, this young group of prospects, and they're doing it exactly how we want to see it. So, the Blackhawks been continuing. I'm expecting this to continue, but we're going to move on now to our second topic, which I think is a massive one. Andrei Kuzmenko has been in the news lately, being potentially traded by the Vancouver Canucks. Now, this Andrei Kuzmenko is definitely a player who you want on your team to win. He's definitely that player that can get the goals, can get the assists, can get the points. He's out there to win. And so far, the Vancouver Canucks are doing that, but he hasn't had a really big role so far on this team. I'm going to pull up his stats here this season. You can see 15 points in 25 games. That's not horrible, but when you look at his previous year with St. Petersburg, his most recent year of St. Petersburg, and his last year of the Vancouver Canucks, he was exceeding expectations by many, many people. 1 goal off 40 in 81 games and 35 assists in his first NHL season. Those numbers are absolutely ridiculous. And he's been in the news lately. Elliot Friedman said on the Sportsnet, the Sportsnet post game or in the mid period, whatever it is. He said that the teams are calling the Canucks about Andrei Kuzmenko. He has 1 more year at 5.5 after this one with a 12-team modified no trade clause. So if another team, let's just say, wanted to get Andrei Kuzmenko, I wouldn't say the Blackhawks are one. I wouldn't say he's going to be on that list of teams that he'd want to go to. However, the Blackhawks, like we said in the last video, are willing to take on cap space. And we know Kuzmenko has a pretty decent-sized contract for teams that are up against the cap and looking to win. This could be a massive opportunity for the Blackhawks to be able to go to pick a prospect or whatnot, anybody, to take on a bit of cap, maybe even 50% or 25%, like we've seen last year with the Minnesota Wild and Ryan O'Reilly. I think this would be a huge opportunity, and no matter where he goes, even if it's someone who has a lot of cap space, I think they should get involved. Take on a bit of cap for the next 2 seasons. Hey, get a pick or a prospect, maybe a 3rd-round pick, maybe, like a former 5th to 6th-round pick, prospect, whatnot. I think it's a huge opportunity. So, Noah, what do you think about this one? I think this is something that the Blackhawks really need to take advantage of.
Well, I like Kuzmenko, and I think he sort of had like a diminished role in Vancouver this year. Obviously, I think he was a first-line player. I mean, that's why he was put up 40 goals last year. I mean, 75 points, I think it was, which is, that's a first-line player. And I mean, Vancouver's been playing so well, and they're clicking, Besser and Pedersen and JT Miller, that his role is diminished. I think he's like a 2nd or 3rd-line player. So, I mean, try and trade him, try and get some picks, try and clear up some cap space, bring in a cheaper guy who's going to put up better numbers and try and go on a playoff run for Vancouver. But in terms of Chicago, I really like the move because, I mean, I don't think he's that old. I can't remember
He's 27 years old, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, that's still like fair prime of your career.
Yeah.
Right? So bring him, like a team can acquire him. I mean, at this stage of the game, $5.5 million really isn't that much.
No, nowadays. Not at all, with the cap going up as well next season.
Exactly, right? So, I mean, I'd take him on my team any day of the week. I mean, really.
Yeah.
And also, it's kind of risk-free because he only has 1 year left.
Exactly, yeah. And I think there's going to be a lot of teams who are going to be, looking to see what he's going to be, what he's going to commend coming back to Vancouver. But if I'm the Blackhawks, I also kind of do just take a chance at him and see what, like I said, the Vancouver Canucks are offering or want for him. Because he's a solid player to pair up. Like we said, 27 years old. That's young in today's NHL. That is not, he probably has 10 years left in his NHL career if he does continue to, put up points, stay healthy, whatnot. So this is someone I would even look at as the Blackhawks. But if he does not choose, obviously with that 12-team no trade clause, not want to go to the Blackhawks, I still think they should get involved in some way to make this an advantage of them. Whether it's picks or prospects. I think that's the extent of what it's going to be. Yeah. I don't think they're going to get. I wouldn't say they're going to get a 1st-round pick, a 2nd-round pick for someone like that, But some teams may be desperate. Some teams may be willing to do that if they can take on the 50% of the cap or whatnot. But whatever it is, I think the Blackhawks should absolutely go into this with a heavy mindset of trying to get involved in it somehow. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. This is something that I'm very curious what a lot of Blackhawks fans think about, if they should take on some cap just to get some extra boost into this rebuild. I think it's a fantastic idea. So that's all we got for this video. If you did enjoy, make sure to give it a like. Make sure to subscribe to the channel as well. Very, very close to 1,000 subscribers. So if you would hit that sub button, that'd be awesome. That's all I got. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.